Hi guys, and welcome back to an actor's notebook. I've recorded this video so many times right now. I kept getting interrupted by my dog, my baby Wonder, and so I had to kick him out the room. And now he's currently at the door, waiting for me to let him back in. So I'm gonna do this as fast as possible because I don't want him to make him sad or anything. But yeah, so I want to first and foremost apologize for this little hiatus that I've been on. I haven't uploaded a video in like 2 weeks. I've just been really busy, and I've just been having a lot of personal decisions that I had to make, personal career decisions that I just needed to make alone. I know that I started this channel to kind of show you guys the journey of becoming an actor and to help you guys out and give you guys like the inside scoop and any information that you really need to know or should know, or I wish I had known when I was first starting out. But there's some parts of my journey that I'm not ready to share with you guys yet because I'm currently in it. Like, this is the journey that I'm in right now, and it's hard. Acting's hard, and choosing it as a career is difficult. You have to make decisions that you don't, I mean, you have no idea if this is going to get you to where you want to go in life. You have no idea if it's the right decision. You have no idea what you should do next. It's not an easy career choice. And so making these decisions in a moment is difficult. You're having to weigh all your options. And options, yes, a lot of people are like, options are great, especially as an actor, but sometimes it can just be a little overwhelming and hard. So I've just been having to deal with that, and I'm not going to share exactly what I've been doing or what I've been trying to decide. Maybe I'll do that later, after the fact. Well, I'm not currently in that season, but yeah, maybe I will, but right now, no. So that's not what this video is going to be about. This video is going to be the top 10 things that I think every actor should know. Plain and simple. Some of it will be very like deep and kind of, I don't know, serious, maybe a little inspirational, and some of it will be extremely practical. But these are things that right now I feel like are 10 things that I think I want to tell you guys. So hopefully you enjoy it. Hopefully, I don't know, maybe I'll inspire you, impact you in some way, plant a seed, make you think, or you could just think it's completely stupid and hilarious, and you can laugh at me the entire time. Either way, I don't care. I just hope that you enjoy yourself. You can pick it apart if you want. You can absorb it and put it in your heart or in your mind forever. I don't care. I just wanted to share these things with you guys. So number 10, and I put this as number 10 because this is the thing that I learned very recently. But yeah, so I don't think any of these things are more important or less important than the other. These are just 10 things. So I'm just starting from the bottom and going up. So I started from the bottom, now we're here. Sorry, forgive me. But anyway, so number 10 is to celebrate the struggle. And what I mean by that is, I think you should know, I think every actor should know that it is okay to celebrate the time that you're in. And if you're in a hard time, if you're in a time full of struggle with your career, if you've gotten all these no's, or if you're just going to another audition after another audition, it's okay to celebrate that. It's okay to celebrate the fact that you went to an audition. Some people didn't go to an audition. Some people were too afraid to go to an audition. Some people didn't have the means to go to an audition. They had to go to work. And it's okay to celebrate the fact that you went to an audition. It's okay to celebrate the fact that you got a callback, which is something I never do. I never celebrated that. Because to me, I felt like if I celebrated every callback, then it would be like saying I'm okay with just having a callback. And there's nothing wrong with being happy that you got a call back. There's nothing. Some people didn't get a call back. You did. You got another chance. That's something to celebrate. Recently, I was up for a role for this play. It's a very new play. I mean, they had some stage readings, but this was going to be like the first like big production of it. And I was up for the lead, actually. And I did my audition. Then the casting director and assistant director of the theater contacted me to see more stuff. They sent me 2 slides or whatever that I would perform for them. And then after that, I got moved up to have a meeting with their director and do like a little workshop on the character and to perform for her. And then I got asked to perform for the playwright, and so it just kept going, and it was so nice. And I had a lot of hope because I really thought I understood this character, you know, and I didn't get it. But the process of it was so much fun, and I was sad for a little bit, but I celebrated the fact that I even got that far because some people didn't, and I got to read like this new script, which was great. Maybe I might even do a monologue and post it up here for from that play and tell you guys to go see it. It's in Salt Lake, so if you're there, I'll tell you guys to go see it, promote it, because the director was really kind, up and coming, really great. The playwright was interesting. It was a different kind of coming of age play that I've ever read before. But I celebrated the fact that I even got that far. And I was proud that I did that. So it's okay to celebrate the struggle. Another thing, number 9, is I think that it's important for every actor to know that it's okay to be afraid. It is okay to be scared to go to an audition. It's okay to be scared in the room and to be nervous. It is completely fine. It's okay to even be afraid to jump into this character that is very difficult. It's okay to have that fear and to be kind of worried about if you can deliver or to try and find this character. It can be hard, and it's okay to have fear of portraying a character right, and it's okay to have fear of going into an audition. It's okay to be afraid of those things. It's normal. It's scary. Acting is scary. It's a scary career. Sometimes jumping into somebody else's mind can be scary. Sometimes selling yourself to people who you have no idea, like you've never met them before, is scary. Or even selling yourself to people who you never met before, but they're like your idols. That's scary. And it's okay to, it's just okay to be afraid. I mean, as an actor, you possibly have to move to different stage places where you never know, work with people who you've never met before, and become someone who you don't know. I mean, and you have to learn to, and you have to try and know them and get to know them, and it's okay to be afraid of that. It's difficult. Number 8, I think it's important to know that while it's okay to be afraid, and it's the next number 9, while it's okay to be afraid, never let the fear stop you. Never be so afraid that it paralyzes you. Because yes, while it's okay to be afraid of those things, because it's difficult things, scary things, I think for me personally, I know people who have given up on their dreams. And I've tried. It's hard. It's a hard thing to give up on your dream. And I think it's far scarier to wonder why than to never try. So just remember that. Because you don't want to walk through life paralyzed. Okay, sorry if that was deep. So number 7, and this is very practical, we're switching very abruptly, but self-tapes. Yeah. So self-tapes, if you don't have $40 to go to a studio for them to give make that little self-tape for you, if you don't have like a friend who's an excellent person, filmmaker, a photographer, who's someone who's really good with the camera and can just record you on theirs and make it look perfect. If you don't have someone like that, which I've been lucky to have a few, but if you don't have someone like that and you're trying to get your own camera, and I did a whole video about this. I'll put the link in my description. I think I did. If I didn't, then I'll do one ASAP and post the link in the description. But if you don't have, like, if you have to have your own camera, do your own self-tapes, pick a camera where you can slide, like, the screen out and see yourself. Because you want to make sure that the focus is great, the lighting is great. You need to be an expert at self-tapes. There are some people who are absolutely amazing at self-tapes. And they will get farther than you if you can't do a great self-tape. I mean, sometimes, you know, directors can see past the self-tapes and still invite you. But you want to make sure that you have the best self-tapes available. So make sure you can see yourself and connect with the camera. And make sure that you're in focus and everything like that. Because it's hard to film yourself when you can't see yourself. Another thing, number 6, is to make sure that you are reading plays. I don't want to say it like that, but yeah, reading plays, reading pilots for television shows. You can find those online. Some of them are a little difficult to find, but you can find pretty much most of them. Good and bad. Read everything. You want to read bad scripts, sorry, or pilots that didn't move on because, you know, nobody wanted to watch them. You want to read those too, because if you need to know how to act when giving great writing and how to completely absorb that character. And you also want to know how to act when you're not giving anything, but you can make it something. You need to know those things. You also need to know what's out there. First of all, if you're going into an audition for a television show, but you've never seen a script that wasn't like from a play, they're written differently. And you need to know how to decipher that. And you need to know how, you just need to practice it. And so reading what's available is, and diving into those characters and those worlds, whether you've seen the show or not, I think it's very important for you to do that and learn from it. It's your job. My next thing that I think is important and connects to this is do your homework. Always do your homework. As an actor, you know, we have to work on our voice. We have to work on our body, our movement, our fluidity. We have to be able to transfer into a different character easily. All of that's homework. All of that is exercises that you should be doing weekly, daily. A dancer in a company or just an aspiring dancer never stops stretching. You have to stretch those muscles. You also need to do your homework on any character that you're going up for. If you're doing like an EPA audition for Cecilia in Importance to Be Earnest. I'm just making one up as I'm talking. But if you're going in for something like that and they're saying, well, just do a monologue, try and do a monologue that's kind of similar to Cecilia. Now, don't get me wrong, when you go to an EPA audition at first, you just want to kind of show them that you're talented. But if you know that maybe you don't have the look that most Cecilias have, you want to show them that you can be her and show them that you can make that character work for you. I'm a black female. Sometimes I go in and I know that they're looking for a blonde, blue-eyed, or sometimes I can read something and I know exactly that they want like a redhead. And I know that I'm not going to look the part, but I can show them that I can be the part. So do your homework always. That was number 5. Number 4, and I think we're kind of going back into like this deep kind of section. But number 4, and I did a video on this, but I think it's still important. Well, I didn't do a full video on this, but I did mention it before. I think it's important for every actor to have their do's and don'ts. Like this line that they don't cross, you know, and it doesn't matter how good the role is, you're not gonna cross it. I once had, like, we're in the section of this Me Too movement, and I think that's great. But you know, a lot of people that are saying Me Too's and they're getting noticed and that's making a difference are people who are already established actors, you know. But for those of us coming up, sometimes it can be difficult to voice, I'm trying to phrase this right, to voice issues that we have or uncomfortable situations that we're in. And I want to clarify that I'm not talking about like nude scenes. I mean, as actors, you get quite a bit of nude scenes. And if that's something that you draw a line at, that's okay too. I'm not trying to judge you on that. But I'm talking about, I once had a director who, through the process, continually told me all the ways that he could please me sexually. Had nothing to do with the play. He would just like say these little things. It made me very uncomfortable. But at the time, I was very new. I was at the bottom of the totem pole, and he was respected. So I didn't say anything. But after I finished working with him, I promised myself that I would never put myself in that position again. I would walk away. I wouldn't do a show if that happened to me, because I couldn't do it. My soul couldn't take it. And sometimes you have to preserve yourself and your worth, you know? I was asked later on to do another show with him by someone who I very much respected. And I told him absolutely not. And he just chose. He was a fantastic guy. He was also like one of my professors, so he was someone who knew what I was capable of. And he was like, okay, and he advised me to do something else, which was a lot of fun, and it was a great performance that I did with that other situation. But it was great. So I think that everyone should have a line, and things that aren't worth the role. So that was number 4. Number 3 is, I hope I'm saying these numbers right, because I'm kind of getting all invested in what I'm talking about and forgetting. So if I've fucked up a number, please, you know, I'm sorry. But if I forgot one, I'll add it later. I don't know. So number 3 is sorry. I don't know. I'm getting kind of serious. But sorry guys, I just need one moment. Hey guys, so sorry about that. I just got a little emotional from the last thing I said. Sometimes you think some things are just hard to talk about. But yeah, it was just a difficult thing, because I just wish that I hadn't allowed for that. But you know, we all learn. But let's go to number 3. So sorry. Still a little flustered. Oh God, I took a break and everything. Number 3, I think it's in, I got hair in my mouth. Anyway, number 3, I think it's important to know what your goals are and what your definition of success is. That's what I mean by like what your goals are. What is your definition of success? What do you want to be? You know, of course, your career as an actor, but there's many different types of acting. And finding the one you love, and then finding your goal throughout that. Like, what's your end goal? Like, what do you hope to accomplish? And that might even not even have anything to do with acting. It's just something that you can do through acting. Like, maybe your end goal is to just make an impact on the world, and you do that through acting. Okay, well then what kind of things would you like to perform in that you feel make an impact in the world? Maybe you want to do more comedy because you think the world is difficult enough and you want to make sure that people laugh. It's finding those goals, and then also finding your idea of success. Some people's idea of success is to be famous and have their picture plastered on every billboard. Some people's idea of success is to be able to make a living doing what you love. Simple. Even if it's like the bare minimum of a living. That's success. Everyone has their own definition. There's no right or wrong. It's just deciding for yourself what that is. Because how are you going to achieve those goals and achieve that idea if you don't know what it is? So discovering that. And it's okay. Oh, this is going over to number 2. It's okay for things to change. It's okay for your idea of success to change. It's okay for your vision of a character to change, because we change. And as you change, you see things differently. Sometimes there was this monologue that I did for a really long time where I thought that this was the best monologue ever written. It's still very well written. I love it. It was from a Mountaintop Couture Hall. I performed the mess out of that. The first time I performed it was actually, I was working on it in a class with Stella Adler. And when I first did it, like everyone in the room was like, like when I got to the end, they were like, oh my God, I'm about to cry. Like some of them, it literally took their breath away. And that was a good moment for me. And the more I did that role, that monologue from that play, it changed, you know, because I learned more about her than I did originally. More about the character, I mean. I learned more about the circumstances and my own circumstances, and I experienced things, I experienced life. The monologue has some hints of racism in it from everything that she's been through, and I grew up in the South. I've experienced racism, but the older I got, the more this is gonna sound weird, but I don't know if it's the more I experienced, like had those experiences, or the more I just was awake enough to notice, you know? And it was like when I was in New York on my own, in San Francisco on my own, places where I didn't think that it would be, I would have to deal with stuff like that. But I did. And it changed the way I did that character. But, and it was good. It was always good. Because I connected with it. I loved it. But the more like I did it, and I did this monologue for 2 years, and now it doesn't do the same thing. It doesn't take their breath away. It doesn't take my breath away. I love it. I do. And I will come back to it maybe when I'm older and I can see it differently. But for right now, it's all used up. So I did recently find this new monologue, and it's a risk. This monologue is risky because I'm not supposed to do it. I'm not old enough to do it, but I connect with it so much. It's from Frozen, not the Disney, not that. But I see it, I read it, and I have a physical response to it. It changes me because I've changed. And I think it's okay to understand. Sorry, I have a note card with like my 10. That's why I keep looking down if you're wondering. But it keeps, you're changing. Your views are changed. Your idea of success may change. Your goals for what kind of acting you want to do, or what kind of, all of that can change. All of that can change. And it's okay to embrace a change and not be so stuck on the idea of being this like actress with all these billboards, or being a comedic actor, or only a contemporary new like actor. And then next thing you know, you fall in love with Shakespeare or something. You know, like, it's okay for those things to change. It's also okay if your idea of what you love in the theater changes. Say you've been an actor your entire life and you get the opportunity to stage manage something and you really enjoy that. It's okay. Embrace it. Maybe you get an opportunity to assist or direct something and you're like, wow, this is a whole different point of view. Or you get a job as a casting intern just for fun and you're like, I love this. I love picking the perfect person for this role. It's okay. It is absolutely okay. And you're allowed to change that. You're allowed to change. Just allowed. Number 1. And I want this to be like some like big monumental, like better than all of the rest kind of number 1s. But it's not. It's simple because like I said before, all of these 10 things are equal in my mind. All of these are important in their own rights, and none of them are better than the rest. So for number 1, I would just like to say, and I think I've said this before, but it was something that I read. And that is to dream big. I think every actor should know that. Don't limit yourself. Don't tell yourself what you can and can't do. Don't pigeonhole yourself. Don't stick to a specific type. Take risk. Dream. As an actor, you have to take risk. You know, maybe you don't go in to audition like a typical actor and you don't do exactly what you're supposed to do, but you do something that no one's ever seen before. No one's ever dreamed of before, and no one would ever do, and they remember that. It's okay to dream and take risk and let your imagination go crazy. You are an artist. You are not a puppet to any director or any casting director. This is your art. And what do you have to lose? And then you can be like, oh, I can lose my dream. But is it really your dream if you can't do it the way you want? Is it really your dream if you can't be as big as you want? If you can't dream as big as you want with like no ceilings, you know? Shatter all expectations that you may have on yourself. Shatter all of the things that people tell you you should do, you could do, you must do. Do what you want to do. Be reckless and abandon reason and just dream. I mean, you're already in a career where like most people don't make it. Simple. You're already in a career that's extremely difficult. You're already in a career that's unstable. You're kind of already a reckless being. Might as well just go ahead and tip it over the edge and do something unexpected. Just dream as big and as bright as you want to. Who's gonna tell you you're wrong? Only you can do that. Only you can make your dreams small. because only you have the power over it. So yeah, those are the 10 things I think every actor should know. I think maybe every person should know. Some of it is more specific to actors, but yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope it helped. And this video turned out to be a lot longer than I expected. So hopefully you watch it all and laugh and enjoy yourself, or be like, oh my god, that's brilliant. I'm kind of brilliant. No, just joking. Sometimes I can be, I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, so yeah. Thanks guys. Bye. See you in the next vlog.